halt, man.
Halt, ich meine halt. I think we're holding base Ches. I think we're holding base Ches. Maybe we're holding base Zayin. We're holding base Zayin or base Ches. Here's Zayin. Zayin or is Ches? One of the two. Zayin? Okay. הנה, גם שהנה עסקת תרא הוא שמציאות של האדם הבנה והסוג שליטי בעצמו התרא. The idea of learning Torah means that my being should be in sync with Torah. Still, in learning Torah, you have to have the bitl of a eved, a servant. The yoke of Torah. This is what Chazal tell us. It's not, you can't compare one person who learns the Torah 100 times to someone who learns the Torah 101 times. With this time, he changes his nature. Even in Torah, also in Torah, you have to have even in Torah, a person has to be like a servant. He's doing more than his norm, more than his metzias. On one hand, he has to have his metzias, he has to be understanding. On the other hand, you have to have a bitl of eved, or what? You have to realize that why am I learning? Only because the Eibusher commanded me to learn. And therefore, he goes against his nature. How do you have both things in Torah? On one hand, it's someone's metzias Adam. On the other hand, someone's a bitl Adam. So he says like this.
The 101 times.
On the first time, is going against his nature.
Does that add also in Havana? Or?
What? If it says in Havana, of course it has in Havana. But the Rebbe explains even more than that. But it's not a... Why is he doing it? He's going against his nature. The reason why he's doing it is because he's going against his nature. He's not a rechaz shmitzich. The Rebbe says actually in a place that when a person learns 101 times, the whole 101 times is more than his regulars. It's not a when he does the last time, the 101st time, then he's doing more. That it'll get that's 100 anymore, so that's why it's beyond his limitation. All of that. Absolutely, the Rebbe not. What does it mean that he had both things? He answers this that I say that Ben and Ev, there's two different things. That's true in the Neshama, the way it came Bam Shoche, that the Eibusher, that the Neshama came down Lamata. It's not B'Shosh Harish. So over there you could have two concepts, or it's a Ben, or it's a Avid, or it's serving the Eibusher through mitzvahs, Maisim Tevim, or it's serving the Eibusher like a Ben through learning Torah. But and though over there you can't see two things, you see the one and the same thing. So too is true Torah mitzvah. In Atzmos, it's not two different things. It's one Nekud. Torah and mitzvah is one in you. Therefore, even in learning Torah, you have to have also the bitl of Eved. In his mitzvahs, he's bottle. The idea that Torah becomes Ben Bilvad. If you learn Torah only in the Eifon of Ben, so which level of Torah is he connecting to? The level of Torah, the way it's Bam Shoch, the way it came down. Torah mitzvah became two different things. In order to connect with the Eibusher, the way it's one with, in order to connect with Torah, the way it's one with Atzmos, the way it's rooted in Atzmos, over there Torah mitzvah are all one. How does he do that? It's true that in learning Torah he has both concepts. His learning Torah demands on one hand, the Torah leiba shamayim el nitl l'shus. It's not in heaven. It's up to the person to decide how he's going to pass. He's going to rule according to his understanding, not going to look at the baskel. That's what sees the ben. Together with that, he takes upon himself the yoke of Torah. Torah is his master over bottle and he's bottled to the Torah like a slave, a servant, which is bottled to the yoke of the master, which is on him. And he has both together. Why? Because he's referring to Torah, not the way Torah came in a tzir of Torah. Torah is beyond one tzir. Has both hafochim, Torah and mitzvahs together. It's a Torah and it's a mitzvah. It's a tzivui, it demands eil and it demands also mitzias. How could it be both together? Because it's rooted in atzmus. In atzmus, there's no one way how things are. It's al derech, the Rebbe Rashab, I mentioned this once. The Rebbe Rashab says when you get to das Elyon, das Tachten. He asks, so what's the reality? Is it das Elyon, lamata ayin, or das Tacht, lamata yesh? What is the reality? What am I supposed to see myself? As a yesh or as a ayin? Which one is right? Kel days of it's both. So he answers, Tachas HaShleimus is dafka when it's neisei hafochim. If you don't have opposites, you're not the ultimate completion. Opposites is where it's at. If it's one way, it's not the right way. It has to be both ways. In order to be Tachas HaShleimus, the ultimate completion is dafka when it's neisei hafochim. So here says also the same idea. If you speak about Atzmus, it can be one way or the other. If it's one way, it's not Atzmus. It's not him. Him is the taiches that's neisei hafochim. So whatever is in Atzmus is also to hafochim. So it's in the Neshama, it has ben the Eved, has both aspects. It's a mitzis and it's a bottle. And same thing Torah mitzvahs. The way it's in Atzmos, they're both together. They both coexist.
What is your ben?
Ben made mitzis and Eved made bittul. They both exist. They're both reality. They both could be together because there has to be Tachas HaShleimus. In Torah Gufa you have both in Yonim. Not because you also have mitzvahs. In Torah Gufa it's going to have both together. Why? Because Torah is Atzmus the Torah. Atzmus of Torah means it has to have both. Asai mitzvah, asai bittul. If it's only one, it's not Atzmus. It's only one way of existence. It's not Atzmus. As he made it. Maybe I make a mistake. Here, rolling Sif Ches is going to answer the question at the beginning of the Maimer. So, Tachlis Chochmat Shuva Maisim Tevim. So he brings on Rashi, the Korashal Teira Hu Sheyei Ima Shuva Maisim Tevim. The main thing of Teira is, that with the Teira should be Shuva Maisim Tevim. Not that Neis was that. Besides the fact that Teira Mevil Shuva Maisim Tevim, Teira brings the Shuva Maisim Tevim. Shuva Maisim Tevim Tzirchulis Ima. The Shuva Maisim Tevim have to be with it. Ima Teira Atzim with the Teira itself. Shebalim that Teira Yegam Abitl the Shuva Maisim Tevim. That in the learning Teira should be also the bitl of Tshuva Maisim Tevim. In the learning, we said before, in the learning has the bitl of Aved. That's the bitl of Tshuva Maisim Tevim. Why? Now he's going to say, what's the difference of Tshuva Maisim Tevim? Shleimar, Dzeshem, Tshuva Maisim Tevim. Why is it not enough to have Tshuva? You need to have Maisim Tevim as well. Who? Ki bitl the Tshuva Mashod Mietzim Mitzus Yasur Mikan Hu Mitzad HaHergeshalei. The bitl of tshuva, when a person goes out of his mitzvahs, he wants to go away from where he was till now. He wants to escape the situation he was in till today. It's his feeling. In the bitl is mixed in a little bit his mitzvahs. It's not ultimate bitl. Therefore he says, the need of ma'asim tevim. It's not enough tshuva, which is not a bitl, but it's not the ultimate bitl. Because in the bitl, he's bottle, he's there. Yesh misha bottle, someone that feels that he has to go away from himself, has to escape. But like we said before, and Rusa the Liba is also of yesh. Because the rotzen is rotzen shaleh. Even when the rotzen, when he wants to do what the Eibishter wants, he wants to do it. Mitzah bitlu, a bitlu ma'asim tevim. Zesh kim mitzah b'derech kabbalah seil, mitzah the rotzen shaleh, mitzah the ilmar shamayim, amutla of kanal seisiv dalet. True bitl is the bitl of ma'asim tevim. When a person does mitzvahs, because he takes upon himself the Eibishter's eil, so it's not doing it because he wants to do it, he's doing it rather because the Eibishter is his master. The Eibishter is his king. So therefore, that's the ultimate bitl. Kanal seif sif dal, frat la bir del seif vov, that really, even kima mitzvah even of Kabbalah sales, also not the ultimate bitl. And we say ma'asim tevim, we're not referring to Kabbalah sale. Kabbalah sales take a greater bitl than rotzen, but it's not the ultimate bitl. Hakavon shakavon ma'asim tevim ila mitzvahs ma'asim atzma. When we spoke about before, what's that? Ma'asim tevim is referring to the mitzvah itself. Lefi bir zeh bitl the ma'asim tevim hu. He doesn't even feel that he's bottled rod. There's no him. What do you feel? Only the Eibishter's will. It's not about him. It's not about him putting aside himself for the Eibishter. It's about the Eibishter's will being done. The Tachlis Chochma, the ultimate level of Chochma is to have side tshuva, side ma'asim tevim. The tshuva, the gamma bitl, the ma'asim tevim. Even the bitl of ma'asim tevim, the actual action should be. The learning table should be in the bitl of ma'asim tevim, that he's just doing it because he's doing what the Eibishter wants. The inyan zeh hu ikar shel teira. This is the ikar of teira, like Rashi says. That was medayik and lashon Rashi. And this is the ikar of teira. Because this way, teif is be'ikir v'sheidish ha-teira, commission v'sheidish ba'atzmos. This way, when a person learns teira, if no ma'asim teivim, that is only what the Eib should gehasten learning, not because he gains anything, not because it's his mitzias. He has a mitzvah, but the Yachdim says, like I said before, you have to have both things together. Then you get the Ikar of Teira, which is not defined a certain way of existence. So, the Rebbe weiter, Shleisi, Tam, als Shemayim, is that Tachas Chochem Tshuva Meisim Tevim Hoye Mרגלא בפומי דרבא דווקא. The reason for this, why this Maimer, this saying of Tachlis Chochem, that the ultimate goal of Chochem is with it, the ultimate goal, the main meaning of Chochem, with Tarashi teaches, is that the Chochem should have with the Tshuva Meisim Tevim Hoye Mרגלא בפומי דרבא דווקא. Dafka, who's the one to say it, is Kibulim that there Shnei Fanim Bechlos. In general, there's two ways of learning. Even the limit the Rabbe, even the limit the Rove. So I'm not sure why it says Rabbe and Rove, not Abaye and Rove. But he says here Rabbe and Rove. I guess because Rabbe was the teacher. Where? Oh, very good. Makes sense. Yeah. Very good. Because in this old one it says if limit the Rove, Rabbe, if limit the Rove. I almost had all Torah about it. But it doesn't make sense much more like this. Here, limit the Abaye, if limit the Rove. You see here they put an aleph even stressed to know he's speaking about Rove, not the Rabbe. But you don't have to have it. Okay, say it. Very good. Shalachein, ba'avayis, the Abaye v'Rove nechalom kol yom teishvah. Therefore, in the questions, in this of Abaye v'Rove includes all the yom of teishvah, and the back and forth of Abaye v'Rove is including all the yom of teishvah, like it says Dover Cotton is Abaye v'Rove. So that's the general two ways of learning. What's the difference in two ways? Kedis b'Gemara. Says Gemara, instead of eating bones in the house of Abaye, by the basement of Abaye, eat fat meat in the house of Rove, which means eating bones means it's dry. There's no fats. There's nothing happening. It's no lachluch. It's no. By Rove was where it's at. With techarchove, not with digdukim. That's what Pashas the Lashon Gemara. So the key shalim that the Rav Ibn shall bisra shmein Allah chasuvis u'mervaches. Since the Rav is learning was in a way that everything was fatty, so to speak, it was more gishmak. Shabalim and beifan zamud gash samitzi shalom aleimin. And such a learning stresses the way of the mitzis of the person that learns. Especially before he started learning with the students, he would say a joke, so to speak. Therefore, he always used to say, the saying, since he had such a stress in the mitzvahs of learning Teda, the mitzvahs of the person when he learns Teda, his halachas were gishmak halachas, it should be gishmak, you should want to learn in a way that your mitzvahs demands it. And especially at the B'chusa, which shows again that we're relating to the person. It's not about we're negating the person, we're just going to say, tell him, listen, learn. No, we want the person to be involved. That's one of the reasons why you may say B'chusa. You want they
want to come on time.
Yeah. There's another reason also, because they say that you open the mind and it makes a kirvat das. You should feel closer to the Rav. You should be able to be ready to be mekabel. So it's all about the mitzvahs. So he had to make sure they should remember Tachlis Chochem Tshuva Meisim Tevim. Fine. This is the mimer. Now,
Oh, it's weird. Usually, like a kiva, kocht and out till after.
Yeah. But here he has the bavon.
Yeah, it's interesting that to be Mרגלא בפומי.
Yeah, because they have the bavon. They were able to make a mistake.
Interesting.
So it's gam, yeah. In other words, it's obvious you have to have your mitzvahs. So you have to tell them that they have to also have. Okay, now he's going to go weiter to explain why the Friedrich Rebbe said the Maimer in this time of the year. Everything about the Rebbe's Mamorim, including also when they said them, is exact. According to this, we should say the time why did the Frikra say the Maimer Shabbos Yishlach Shabbos Lefnei Yitas Kislev Shabbos before Yitas Kislev who in and on the room is about Posuk Padab Shalom Nafshi Hashach Yitas Kislev. Firstly, this concept of Tachas Chacham Tshuva Mazitem is connected with the Posuk Padab Shalom Nafshi, which has a connection to Yitas Kislev. Like the Alter Rebbe said, when I read the Posuk Padab Shalom, I went out b'Shalom. The Gam, and also this concept is hinted in the Posuk about Posuk. It's also connected to the Posuk which is the Parsha of Yishlach, and the Gam Shaykh La Gula of Yitas Kislev. It has also a connection to the whole Gula of Yitas Kislev. But you know, so he's going to explain why. He says the Gimel Yon Shemaim Razal Nal Chachma Tshuva Ma'asim Tevim. These three things, Chachma Tshuva Ma'asim Tevim, are Shayachim LeGimel Amudim D'Teira Aveda Gmilas Chasodim. They connect the three pillars of the world stands on, which is Teira Aveda and Gmilas Chasodim. Why? Chachma is Teira, Tshuva is Aveda. Why is Tshuva Aveda? Tshuva and Aveda is two things. He says no. Kitfila Aveda Hu Yina Bitl. What's davening? Davening is Bitl. Shodam HaMispal Ke'Aved B'Fnei Rabbi. That's the end of Tshuva Bitl. Like he said before, it's going out of his one's mitzvahs. Ma'asim Tevim Gmilas Chasodim. Ma'asim Tevim is Gmilas Chasodim. Gmilas Chasodim close Kol HaMitzvahs. Gmilas Chasodim is Dikar Val HaMitzvah. Like it says in the Tanya, brings that from Yerushalmi, that mitzvah's Zdaka is called B'Shei Mitzvah Stam. Brings in the order, yeah. So he says, V'hinei Drosh Razal Pod B'Shalom Nafshi, and the Razal Darsh and the Pod B'Shalom Nafshi. Kaleis B'Teri Gmilas Chasodim Mispalam Atzibor Kilo B'Tani Li Lubonim Ebin Omis. That if someone learns Teira, not Stam learns, Eisik B'Teira, and B'Gmilas Chasodim, Mispalam Atzibor is redeeming the Eibishter and the Jews from the nations. Shabdia the Gimel Yon B'Teira Gmilas Chasodim Utfila B'Tzibor. The Gula comes through learning Teira and doing Gmilas Chasodim and then davening with the Tzibor. Other places the Rebbe explains why it says the Seder, whatever. But here it just says you need to have all three things. And the Eibishter is redeemed through these three things. Well, so this is the idea of Geula that's happening through these three things. That's the Geula of Yitas Kislev, so to speak. So also through these three things we have the Geula. Besides that, as a connection to the Posuk Padab Shalom Nafshi, it says that it's a Geula P'dani Li L'Bonim Ben Omes. So too now he's going to go to the Posuk of Katedim Kol Chasadim Kol Emes, that too is connected with all these three things. Why? The Chasadim, Moshe Rabbim, Him Beis HaKavim, Gmilas Chasadim and Tefillah. Chasadim is plural, is including both Kav and Sait Gmilas Chasadim and Tefillah. Okay, Yidua She Tefillah B'Chlal Gmilas Chasadim. We know that Tefillah is also Gmilas Chasadim. It brings in the Pasuk in the bottom, Gimel Nafshi Ish Chesed. A person that expresses himself, it's Davins Tashem, is called Ish Chesed. I think that's the Pshat. Anyways, he says Tefillah is Gmilas Chasadim. And Ne'emar HaChasad Moshe Rabbim, Ki Chesed Gmilas Chasadim Mitzvahs. Chesed Tefillah Im Shnei Chasadim. Why does it say Chasad, not Katedim, we call it Chesed? Chasad Moshe Rabbim is referring to Gmilas Chasadim and Tefillah because there are two types of Chasadim. Especially knowing that Tefillah is Kav HaGvura. How long a person elevates himself. Like I said before, that Tefillah and Tshuva are connected. It's in a Valoah. A person elevates himself, as opposed to Teira, which is Milamai Lamata, Tefillah is Milamata Lamayla. In this we understand that the Chesed and davening is not like the Chesed of Gmilas Chasadim. The Emes who Teira, and Emes is Teira. Emes is Teira. So he says that's Kol Chasadim Kol Emes. Chasadim is Gmilas Chasadim and Tefillah. Emes is Teira. Ein Emes elo Teira. Emer Katein, Tim Kol Chasadim Kol Emes. Din Abitu Katein Leir. Akim Kol Chasadim Makavim Tefillah Gmilas Chasadim Tshuva Ma'asim Tevim. Malgam Kol Emes Teira Gmilas Chachma. He stresses to say that the din of Kateinti, din of Bittul is not only Mikol HaChasadim, but the Mikol HaEmes. That even when we learned Teira, he had din of Bittul. That is over my Merazal Pasuk Padab Shalom Nafshi. Same thing is true. Same thing is true in regard to Kol HaEmes. Same thing is regarding the Merazal and the Pasuk Padab Shalom Nafshi. Shadiku. It says and the Pasuk Padab Shalom Nafshi Chazal tell us Kol Asik Batera, not Lemetera. Why does it say Kol Asik Batera, not Lemetera? Din Asik Batera Hook, Mishavach Chad Mor, Shanez was a Sholem La'atzmi. What's that learning Teda? Asik Batera, not learning Teda. It says Asik Batera. Shtach Asik Batera means, like the Frierdiker Rebbe explains, Shanez was a Sholem La'atzmi. Besides, he learns for himself. He puts the greatest efforts to make everybody to come learn Torah. It's not enough. He's not suffice himself with the fact that he learns it himself. He puts an effort to bring others to learn Torah. Especially when he takes from his own time, he could learn for himself and he gives it to other people to teach other people. That's because he's bottled to Torah. That's a taich. That in the Maimer Chazal, Kol Ha'esik B'Teira is including also this word of this Maimer. The word of this Maimer is including in the Maimer Chazal, which is connected with Pada B'Shalom Nafshi, which is connected with this Kislev. So he's saying this is connected with it because the Maimer Chazal is called Ha'esik B'Teira. Ha'esik B'Teira means he learns with others. He goes out of his way to get others to learn Teira. So that shows that he's bottled to Teira. It's not about his mitzvahs, it's about his bittul to Teira. That's why it's the fusion of the two inyonim. Mitzis and bittul. How can you make the connection of these two opposite things, ben and evet? It's through revealing the etzem and neshama the way it's rooted in atzmos. Over there, the etzem and neshama shnei inyom the ben be'evet im kul echad. Over there, the etzem and neshama, where it's rooted in atzmos. It's not two things, therefore they come together. That's what we said before. Now we're going to speak about the order of the things. It says, why does it say Teire before Gimel Chasadim and Tefillah? Why does it bring first Teire before Gimel Chasadim and Tefillah? Although in the order of the Aved of a person, generally, the main time of learning is after davening. Like it says in Gemara, Binyam would say that he was mispelled sheik tfilosi smuch limitasi. After that comes learning. Shabo, which the davening comes first he learns, first he gives tzedakah, then he davens. So what's the pshat over here that he says? That Teira before Gimel Chasadim and Tefillah. Ki hamitzin the pod b'shalom nafshi hu ayidei gilei yichida. The true concept of pod b'shalom nafshi is through gilei yichida. How could it be pod b'shalom nafshi? How could it be b'shalom? How could it be b'shalom means there's no opponent? It's through gilei yichida. And this answers the question. He's going to soon explain it. So he says, this is the real part of B'Shalom Nafshi, that there's no opponent, it's through Gilei Yichida. That is over the Gilei in the Padani Li Labanim Ben Omis. Also regarding the Ina Padani Li Labanim Ben Omis, Zashi and Zay Yibi Bisa Mashiach Dafke. Why is the ultimate going to be Dafke when Mashiach comes? Well, the fish Mashiach or Yechida the Klol Seish Talshlis. Because when Mashiach is, who's Mashiach? The Yechid of Klol Seish Talshlis. Like it says in Konzinyana. That's Mashiach. Mashiach means Yechida. Therefore, it's going to be a redemption from all obstacles, from all things in the world. All things, all not good things. Yeshleimar, da kavona kam Yechida hi, leirak l'darga protzis di Yechida, l'gam le'etzem an neshama. When you say over here, that the pod b'shal nafsh is through Yechida, also the yin of Padan Lila Ben Omis, Lila Ben Omis is through Yechida, is referring to what? The etzem an neshama. Okay, now he understands why Makbin Teir Gimel Chasadim and Tefillah. Why? In the Maimer Chazal it says Teir before Gimel Chasadim and Tefillah. Ki agili the etzem an neshama wa idea eisik b'teira. When you have the revelation of the etzem an neshama, the way it's mush and atzim is dafka through eisik b'teira. Zeh she'teira ben. He be from the eisik eved umitzad etzem an neshama. V'lechein yin zoh ha'achon ha'ikis l'bisa Mashiach ha'yichid the close shtalshlis. Therefore, this is the main preparation. When a person reveals his yichid, it's contagious, so to speak. It reveals the ultimate yichid, the yichid of close shtalshlis. That's the yichid of close shtalshlis, the Rebbe, yeah. That's the yin of Yechida Klolis. Oleisif. שהאידאה הגיל ליחיד לקלוס השטל שהיא לא עשו לו, והיא תעשי לו בכל גימל יונים גימל חוכם תשובה מזיטב, ומדליד לשבין הריך. It says, through the, just we say that through Ezek Batei, which that's through Gila Yechida Protis, that eventually brings to the Gila Yechida Klolis. He says the Rebbe goes backwards also. The Gila Yechida Klolis Ashtal She Lo Asilove. He takes Vila B'chol Gimel Yonim Chacham Tshuva Ma'aseh Tevim B'adei L'Shbein Arich. There's going to be a greater Chachma and greater Tshuva and greater Ma'aseh Tevim Bein Arich the way it was before Mashiach. The Gila Teira Chachma, referring to Teira Chachma, Amar Chazal tell us, Shateir, the Achshav Yehev L'Gabe Teras Shal Mashiach. The Teira today is nothing in regard to the Teira of Mashiach. So we see that even though Teira today you can learn Teira and even of Ezek Batei, he has both miles, Ben and Hevet, but it's nothing in regard to the Teira of Mashiach. There's Bein Arich higher. That's one thing. Yeah, let Tshuva Yidua Mashiach has last over Tzadik Kaibet Yufta. It says Mashiach is going to come, he's going to make Tzadikim do Tshuva. Tshuva, Tzadikim now says about Tshuva Kipshuta. Tshuva, Tzadikim much greater than Tshuva Kipshuta. Like it says in Chassidus, in many places, that the Tshuva Vaish Poshet, he does Tshuva Take. It's very high. But in the end of the day, he doesn't know really what he's doing, which means he doesn't know what he's reaching. When the Tzadik does Tshuva, he knows what's Tutuf. It's a much higher level. That's one thing. And also, Latzav Tzadikai B'Tiyuf Tamol Shteit, nicht nur Tzadikim soll echt Tshuva tun. So sein Tzadikim dike Tshuva. That it says, through Tshuva you reach a higher level than a Tzadik regularly, but the kavanah is that this level should also be Gilui Neifim Pnimi Mamash. We should feel the level that we attain. That's Tzadikim Tzadikai B'Tiyuf. That's a Chibur Ma'uban, whatever, I'm not going to get into it. Tzadikim is Ma, Tshuva is Ban. Tzadikai B'Tiyuf, you have both miles. Ban is higher than Ma. But regularly, when Baal Tshuva does Tshuva, he's taka Ban, but he doesn't know what's flying. It's Helam. Tzadikai B'Tiyuf is that he feels what he's doing. He feels the gili of the mocker of Shem Ban. That's about the Eibishter. Fine. Regarding to Ma'asim Tevim, we know Mashiach comes, that's going to be the ultimate time of doing mitzvahs. Like it says that when Shom Nights L'Fanech Kim Mitzvahs Ritzinecho, that only then we're going to start doing mitzvahs the way the Eibishter wants us to do it. Till it says, also regarding to it says when Mashiach comes, there will be mitzvahs, B'teilus L'Asid L'Aveh, there won't be any mitzvahs. It's one of the explanations that Rebbe explains what's the mitzvahs, B'teilus L'Asid L'Aveh. There won't be a commander and a commandee. There'll be only the commander. There won't be the one that's commanded. Why? Because everyone's going to be bottled. Our whole mitzvah is going to be Ratzon. There's not going to be a mitzvah. It's going to be the do Ratzon. Not going to be a need for a mitzvah. That's one of the pshatim of the Rebbe. There's going to be mitzvahs, but then how much higher level? We're not going to be outside the Ratzon. The Eibishter wants, automatically we do. That's basically you can't mitzvah b'tachas hashleimus. Unless he's speaking about the first kuf or whatever. Shleimah, Shleimah, the Ma'asim Tevim Me'irim, she yours, Nichel Gam, the Ma'asim Tevim Me'irim doesn't just mean that Ma'asim should be Tevim Me'irim, rather it means also Nichel Gam, Shekol in Yom Del Masiyah Me'irim. Ba'ad Shegam Laila Kiyim Yor, like it says, Kachashech HaKaira, Gam Cheshech Le'yach Shmur Mekah. Like the Taishach Sidin, that Cheshech is not Cheshech, why? Because Mimekah it's from you. Like the verse from the Baal Shem Tev, that it says, Terech HaDosha Miti Teitze, what's that Terech HaDosha Miti Teitze? The Terech HaDosha is Me'iti Teitze, that everything comes from Hashem, from Atzmas. That's the pshat, the Terech HaDosha. What's the Terech HaDosha? Sanai Terech. This is the Terech HaDosha. We're going to start singing everything. How it's Me'iti Teitze, it's come from the Meibush Na'alein. Akaponim, Megula Mitzvah Shlem V'dem Shil Tzidkeinu, U'leif V'dem Miyad Inigolin. It should be happening right away. Miyad. Okay, now what do we have to do? We have to say a drasha, a kitzer on the Maimer. Kitzer on the Maimer is that we have to learn Torah and do mitzvahs. It should become one thing. And in the learning Torah, we should feel that it's not about us. It's imo tshuva ma'asim tevim. And then darf verbringen a ganze Nacht. Sag mal, Chaim. It's a kurze Nacht, so a winterdicke Nacht. The Nakuda is like this. The Tachlis Chochma Tshuva Ma'asim Tevim, the ultimate goal. It's not just the goal. The Ikir Tachlis, the ultimate of Torah is when you have Ima Tshuva Ma'asim Tevim. When you're able to learn Torah in such a way that we're bottled to the Eibishter b'Tachlis. We're taka learning, and together with that we're bottled b'Tachlis. How can you have both together? Because the Atzmus is Nishlokim Chafochim. Atzmus is Keil Laltz. Like you say, I'll say in Aces HaSkola, Gile Yechide kann jetzt sein, das sagt er. Sagt, Gile Yechide kann sein jetzt. Fahr Mashiach. Weil es ist eine Sache starke jemand. Weil wir haben das Gile Yechide, der kann sich stahlschluss.
So you have to have Metzius, you have to understand.
You have to understand, you have to use your Metzius. And B'yachadim Zeh, we're bottled to the Eibush, we realize, why are we doing this whole thing? Why are we doing this whole Metzius thing? Because as Eibush geist. As Eibush geist, because all my Metzius. Al derech v'hafta. Al Rebbe says in Tanya, that v'hafta should be, L'dai leir avla v'adal v'ad seitei, v'l'fochs are leir tchila yira tivus, am-stairs b'leif kol Yisrael. In Perkvam Alf, right? It's not enough to have Ave, you have to also have Yira. What's with Yira? In the Ave you have Yira. Why am I having Ave? Well, as I like it, it's enjoyable, it's geschmack. No, because the Eibush doesn't get we need to have Ave, we need to have our Metzius. Simon's Metzius. But why do we have a Metzius? Al derech zeh, everything we do, the Akdama from the Sefer Erekim, Yale made, he wrote it and he didn't print it because the Rebbe made the Sefer, the Constant Yon Shteres Chassidus. But it's printed now, it's in other places it's printed. Yeah, 60 years, Shishim Shana, yeah, maybe we should learn it. Yeah, Efshe Take. Nicht nächste Woche, aber die Woche noch, dann wird es schon. Sein darf. Okay, the Kud is Advarim is, nächste Woche sieht halt Kesslo weget. Dann sagen sie, es war das. Was da? Ah? איפה הם הימים, זה איפה מה שאתה שם אותם. Como é sério, que vai comer. So what I want to say over here, that also like he writes, he asks a question, what's the Iker of Chassidus? The question al derech kondisyonu, but not kondisyonu exactly. So you want to know what's the main thing in the Chassidim? What's Bon Chabad? Chabad, we should think, we should understand, we should learn, or we should just do what we gotta do. Ma'aseh b'peil, bittul b'tachlis, just do what you have to do. That's the chikir. The answer was, if I remember correctly, that the kavanah is that we should learn and understand just like we do. We have to do it. We have to know Yiddi, not because we want to understand and it's geschmack and we enjoy it and it's thought provoking and it stimulates the intellect. Because this is Azay will der Eibishter. In ganzen Tag and Azay bepashtas Asik Bater means to learn Teire. Asik in the Eifin Shal Asik, it's not just Stam, it's Asik. Here the Rebbe takes Kol Kuli is about learning with others, but the brings with the Frierdiker Rebbe. But in the learning Teire itself, the Rebbe says you have to have in a way that it's Ben and Eved together. So I'm saying that that's the idea. That we should do everything. I remember when we were Bochum, they had a chikira. What's the nakuda? To be a metzias for an Eibishter? To be bottle for an Eibishter? Or to be chibur shteim? You remember the chikira we had? It's got a chikira. And it's from the Chavre. And he said you could find people that are metzias. You find people that are bottle. But to find the chibur shteim is very few, very, very seldom. Ashkolon yeah, Alderach, yeah. It's the Rebbe says in the Wuste letter, in the Wuste Verbringen of Yidal de El, Tovshin Lamed Vov, not Yidal de El, Tovshin Lamed Vov, Ach Shopesel Tovshin Lamed Vov, the Rebbe, it's printed in Yidal de El and Tetzvov El and Chelik Yidal and the Kotesichis. So the Rebbe says over there, how can you month from a Bocher in Yeshiva, you should learn Sai Nigla, Sai Chassidus, Sai Goam Evtzoim, Sai Daven Bariches, how can you want all the different opposite things? Everything's possible. If it's not about me, it's about the Eibusher, what the Eibusher wants, then there's place for everything. Everything could be there. And there's over here, Gilei Yechida. And then he says over here, it's not just Gilei Yechida, it's Gilei Yatzim Neshama. It's possible, everything's possible. There's nothing impossible. By the Fabrengen, that the Rebbe says that every person is Kel Yochel. Yeah, every person is Kil Yachal. Who half from the Zeger? You want to say another drasha? Short drasha. About the Tes Kyslev, which is coming up, Tes Yud Kyslev. He told me to say a drasha about Tes Yud Kyslev, the brother Daina. So it says over there, the Rebbe speaks about Tes Yud Kyslev, how it's a maimer before this maimer, Pod B'Sholem. He speaks over here, how the over here he speaks about Pod B'Sholem Nafshi Mikrovli. He speaks about how it's connected with all the gulas, especially with Yud Kyslev, because this is something we say every year, Pod B'Sholem Nafshi on Yud Kyslev. So what's the connection with Pod B'Sholem Nafshi with Yud Kyslev? So he says, when they get to Pod B'Sholem Nafshi, the Pashas who said the Pod B'Sholem Nafshi, Dovda Melech said it. Again, the ultimate P'ti B'Sholem was Dafke by Shleim HaMelech, or till Losidov is going to be the ultimate P'ti B'Sholem. But Dovda Melech said it already because it was included already in his P'ti. So he says, the fact that we say by the Friedrich, the Mittler Rebbe Yud Kyslev, that it's P'ti B'Sholem, Pod B'Sholem, what's that Sholem? There's no opponent, and we don't say it's a preparation to Mashiach. We say within it itself, it's already a P'ti B'Sholem. So b'meila, it's even greater than the P'ti B'Sholem of Doved HaMelech. As he talked the Rebbe, and the Rebbe explains that the achona for Yud Kyslev is Tes Kyslev. Tes Kyslev is achona for Yud Kyslev. It's achona for Yud Kyslev. The preparation is on Tes Kyslev, the stalkers of the Rebbe, the Mittler Rebbe. Even though the stalkers only happened a year later, but since it's Megalgan Schus L'Yim Zakai, means it had a Shachs Terad already from the year before already had a Shachs Terin of his stalkers. And the Rebbe explains the Nekudas Hadvorim is, the Kitzur Hadvorim is, that there's 3 stages in connecting with the Eibishter. There's three stages. That he says, there's High Alma Azlin and Minei. There's 2 types in High Alma Azlin and Minei. This world is a place that we become goers, we become Azlina, we become a Mahalchim Minei. Through being in this world, we become a Mahalach. Neshama L'mayla is called Eimid. He's standing in one place. Neshama L'mata, through doing Torah mitzvahs, becomes a Mahalach. The whole Arichas Advarim over here, that the whole Arichas is saying, Beilula, I'm not going to get into this thing over here. Then he says another Tashin Kaya Hamad Azlina Minei. The High Hamad Azlina Minei means that Azlina Minei, that the Azlina Minei, when we leave this world, is Azlina, we become Mahalchim. When we leave the world, we become a Mahalach. He said this is more begoloi by the Ilul Rashbi. That's why his Yom Hilula, his day of his talkas is called Yom Hilula, because it's Taija Azlina that he became a Mahalach. He became a Mahalach. Why? Because by him he learned Pnimis HaTeiros. He was Megala. What he accomplished by doing being in this world? The bleak full of accomplishment that you could have gained. That Neshama L'mayla is Mugbal. Neshama L'mata, by learning Torah and doing mitzvahs, comes to the bleak full of the Eibishter. Why? Because he says over here. He says also the mitzvahs, the way the way it's down here. The mitzvahs down here are mugbal. Dafka, the way it's connected with the Eibush, Dafka, when we leave this world, we come to the ultimate bleak full of Torah mitzvahs. Yes, because what we did here, we gain the value of it when we do our shlichus and we come to the time of Azlina Minei, we leave this world, then it reveals itself the inner part, the inner meaning of the Torah that you did in this world. Yeah. So this is the second in of Kai High Alma Azlina Minei, that through when we leave this world, then as Azlina Minei we become Mahalchim. And the Rashbi was, he says Azlina Minei, Yom Hilula was in this gal that then he says, the third thing is going to be asking. He always saw the of the things of Torah mitzvahs. That's a good shaila. But this is what he says here. Like upon him, he says there's connection with the Eibishter through learning Torah and doing mitzvahs in this world. It's connection when you leave this world, and there's a connection by Tchis HaMeis. That's the third Hilula. That's the ultimate. He says Hilula means the connection of Char V'Nukve. In other words, it means also the neshama and the guf, which is also called chayv nukva. So you have the chibur neshama guf when it comes down to this world, zehilula. Then you have the chibur neshama guf when tchis hamesim. Then zehilula b'shas the tzaddikim were nistalik. Basically, said that the hilula of leaving this world happened on Tes Kislev. That's a achone to the chibur. Even in our metzias, in the metzias of the guf, should also be connected with the blikul of the Eibishter by tchis hamesim. So he says Yud Kislev is the idea of bringing the Eibishter down in this world. And in our metzias, we should feel the infinity of Hashem, the Ein Sof of Hashem. And this is achone through that. Is the achone for that is by leaving this world, by going out of our metzias. He says by the middle Rebbe had to have the in of hilul mamish. By us, it's enough that the Alter Rebbe, that the middle Rebbe did it. This is enough. It was meitzi us. He says it was meitzi everybody, all the people that are shayachim, and that brings that we could even in our metzias we could have this gili of pada b'shol nafshi, which means higher than limitation. And maybe we don't have to go out of our metzias, and in our metzias before we go out of our metzias we're already connected and we have already pada b'shol nafshi. Okay, I didn't explain it, but I didn't. It's the stalkers is drashbi. That's the name of Teskis. The Mitzvah Rebbe also had the connection. Also, true. They both was talking with Chaim, and both and also when he said the word Chaim, right. True. Fine.
Yeah.